All right. We're getting into it. Imperial and Red Canids. It's Mirage as the first of potentially 3, but let's not get too crazy here. Let's not jump the gun. We've got a lot of Counter-Strike to go up until that point. Myself, of course, why not? Hello. Joined by Anthran. We're ready to get things smoothly, fingers crossed, underway.
I still stand by my statement. I think so far, like I said, Red Canids, upwards trajectory, everything looking good and all, but Imperial should, on paper, be a team that, is still a bit out of their wheelhouse. We're going to find out, though, just how far these two are apart, because get to see a quick start to this one. Red Canids trying to take their business up into the apartments, which baits out a couple of defensive nades from Imperial, get rid of that Molly HE off the rip. That's going to bode well for them later on in the round. They bought dualies here, right? So they are sacrificing a lot on this pistol or Imperial.
The Canids are playing back in towards their spawn, kind of just hopping about back and forth. They looked like they were actually a little bit indecisive. I think they just kind of wanted to make something happen over at B, and maybe a read came in that there was a number more there than they would have liked to have come on to. I think now is the safer bet. And there's no kit right now also. So that's interesting to say the least, because this is a full-on exec. This is going to be a bomb plant before they go down. I highly doubt that all of the kills transpire in the favor of Imperial before that's the case here.
I mean, I don't even know if Imperial are going to have much of a stakehold in this round. That smoke is their last piece of utility. That's all they got. Remember, 3 players without armor, not looking great when Kawaz and Drop walk in and take 2 heads. SHR, well, he's not going to be putting up much of a defense now, is he? Immediately dropped in ticket, and Cello and Vinny, they can't even think to get back in this site.
This is definitely what I was expecting on this map in particular. I think the Red Canids on Mirage specifically have done a lot of really good work. Look at how composed they are, dude. Like, I don't know, something about this 5, it just kind of screams discipline lately. And I don't know, I don't really know how it does look as good as it does. Good shot from Cello, though, as an aside. But honestly, it just shocks me that this quick into their existence as 5 players, that they're all seemingly on the same page. Again, mainly on this map. I think this is probably the biggest and best example of that. Pretty much blowing all the other maps in their pool out the way in that regard. But I mean, what a good map to have in your back pocket or your front pocket in many ways, because everybody likes to play a little bit of Mirage. No one's insta-banning that.
No, I mean, could have gotten rid of it if was Anubis removed from the pool.
Pipe down, you.
Sorry.
Old man waves fist at air.
Back in my day, we had cash.
I want cash back, dude.
Yeah, that's a perk in Call of Duty Zombies.
Apparently, it's just not optimized enough yet, is what I'm understanding.
That honestly makes sense. That map runs like garbage. I'm just gonna be honest, man.
Yeah. You try to do the two cross smokes in mid, dude. Good luck with your CPU.
You got double digits, bro.
Good luck with your CPU.
No, I think you bring a great point. Red Canids, I feel like for a while now, have been really solid on this map. I was going to bring up the point that I wasn't a big fan of how Imperial used their utility, but I don't think that would have made a grand change in the rounds, to be completely honest. But it is something to at least keep a note of, right? Because that felt like, maybe not fear, but just, it felt way too quick to immediately drop a molly in a nade. I'm gonna keep that one in the think tank.
Vinny's 5-7 could be absolutely incredible right now. This would be the time to come alive. He actually gets hit with the molly, I think. Yeah, that's a sad day for Vinny, who could have had the world on his shoulders, and very much so did. But, I mean, in all fairness to him, what more was he really expected to do when given the unfortunate fate of being a magnet to the glass bottle? Not that that is even realistically possible, but glass magnet.
I feel like that position's still hard to find impact in. Even if it feels like the red carpet's rolled out, right? Just how many players aren't going to clear chair, you know? So, no harm, no foul. But, man, all of this is going to be registered for the Canids, right? The way they're playing around this B site, what they're doing, these habits, they'll be registered. For now, though, I think it's just a game of Imperial trying to pick off any access they can find. That might be an MP9 for SHR. Yeah, okay. Not the end of the world. Maybe one person goes a little haphazardly into connector, get an extra couple $100, maybe walk away with a rifle, but we're talking about the land of fairy tales. Clearly not this map, because it's just an easy cold cut round.
Cold cut, you say?
Mm-hmm. We have the meats. I'm just kidding. I'd never eat there.
I always hear such horror stories, dude.
I don't know who's keeping them in business.
There's got to be one guy.
Right?
Just flat out. All right. Well, keeping in business, at least financially right now, the Red Canids are going to be swimmingly moving on to the remainder of this first quarter, we'll call it, because they've got SMGs looking to get even more money than that they already have, and that is a bad look overall. If you are Imperial, who are just scraping by, struggling to make ends meet, an MP9 for SHR and the rest of the crew and co, just working with those 5.7 once more, known to be potent, and there's no CT economy buff just yet. Nope, you don't get that extra between 50 and 250 per round per player. Oh, burnt out and hurt. Even the one tick should be enough to say that they're trying to set up something a little funny.
He can't get out of this. I mean, the second you see that HE pulled, you just know they're fully clued into it. However, they are still sticking around mid right now. There's two lurkers that are potentially vulnerable to what's going on. I'd imagine Imperial stick around with this mid hold for quite some time, even after the utility flies on A, just to get something out of it. And eventually, someone's going to have to show face, right? You'd think. You've got a player in chair. You've got Kawes and under. Info heard earlier on, eventually they're going to group up for a con push. Here comes that push from the CTs, though, and it's Imperial to strike first blood. 2 kills out of the No 857. They're forced to come into A. There's the MP9. We just saw it covered in the last round. USP almost gets damage on Poncer, but it's still not looking awful for the Red Canids. You got to remember, not going to favor you artillery-wise. MP9 now dropped, and everybody starts to hit the deck. Things come back to normalcy unless the 5.7 can line up a couple of heads. One headshot would do in Coldzera if my math is lining up, but
he really wanted to deny that bomb plant.
Maybe a little too spicy for the pepper.
Yeah. Trying to sprinkle it on a little too heavy. Having to deal with the first player at the headshot box before going knees deep, and unfortunately can't provide. That's just Red Canids getting sweet, sweet victory, but albeit a little later than we were expecting. Fully ready for there to be a little bit more grit, given that the pistols were showing it. All 5 kills split between 2 players. That's to be the truth. And Coldzera actually willingly bringing out the AWP this early. I'm not concerned. I'm a little tentative to see what he's going to be able to do with it. Yeah.
Oh! I thought
losing the 1-for-1. Yeah, Poncer still lives, and no nades are going to be soaring onto his location to change that fact. A smoke to deny vision, but that's really inconsequential. It's Coldzera's line held from Apex that if he turns towards try, he may get an overstep.
I mean, they've got everybody coming out here. Nice. It's not like you're going to back off going to mid. There's Coldzera's up starting to shine up from the headshot angle, and they're still posted. He wants more. Like a shark, he smells blood, almost even taking the second through the triple boxes, and I think they gear up for a repeat. They might, but everybody's cooking a little too much here. A1S, even on low bullets. Double dink on drop, shuts down a second, and it's Coldzera's up. To try and prove you wrong from the top of the palace. Health won't matter if you hit your shots, kid. 1v1 on No Way, and with 28 HP, that molly could do him in.
If it spreads!
Coming through. Oh my god, wait, he can't even go for that spam. He can't deny it. That molly is why he can't do it, but does he know he's on stairs? Coldzera too far away to go for the tick. So No Way slows it down, continues to play from the stairs angle. There's the stab. That's all Coldzera.
He's right beneath him.
No He's this close. We turn off X-ray to see who can really get the upper hand in this one. Molly used. No Way still suspicious. Coldzera not walking around, but maybe detected. No Way doesn't go for the full clear, and Coldzera steals a clutch for a 4-0 start.
That was really good from Coldzera. I mean, harkening back even to the kill that really opens it all up is the fast reactionary shot at being half blinded, player emerging from a deep side of the smoke, micro adjustment turn major. That is very, very good from not the captain, but the big green wielder, and a tactical timeout. Yeah, I would too right now if I were Imperial. It's not every day you're going to say that you're getting out-opt as try by Coldzera. have to
I mean,
rectify that.
That one's gonna sting because like it felt like Imperial had played that right for the most part. You know, I think the craziest part about that round to me is that it's entirely A-favored because the Red Canids in the last, they couldn't really afford to just hang on to mid. They immediately lost it once Imperial went in for a mid retake. They just completely circumvented it, and it worked. But this time they'll put it back into the strat book and just wait for them to make their move. A little safer this time, albeit not as close as Connector, but got the op posted on cold and have 3 awaiting any sort of presence behind the mid boxes. Vinny, a reactive smoke and Connector, maybe to inch them closer. But the only one inching right now is Coldzera and his op up catwalk.
Okay, bursting out in through the wall even. Drop leaves little to be desired. He does all that he needs to. Gets involved. Heavy shots and heavy artillery. Reigns supreme in every turn. Eventually, a medium to long-range MP9. Some of the last that we're going to be seeing of that. And even still giving them a run for their money until drops about face. There's very other places they could have been rotating from, and the bomb planted away from CT spawn makes it so. He only has high priority to con. He looked fine and dandy for it.
Would it be crazy to say that Imperial kind of looks scared?
Well, that round in particular, yeah, kind of. They could have had a little bit more like gimmick to their play. I feel.
I mean, it feels like everywhere you look, Imperial, they're scared to peek in or go for a jiggle and con, right? You see, I think it was, I want to say it was Draw. No, I don't know why I was saying drop. I believe it was No Way on stairs who jiggles out and just gets spammed, even though there's 2 players there. And then SHR, he never really wants to take a fight, trying to escape in ramp. This is just beautiful from the Red Canids so far. Not even just strategic destruction, but everybody's hitting their shots alongside that too. And now it's going to be a pace change.
One that may prove all necessary. Unless SHR can anchor this down, they're going to be in for some trouble. Tries op, just as good. Given more opportunity, Coldzera, again, like I said, a little bit more static, a little bit more held to his own and trying to see if someone will give him the line and try. His aggression, his willingness to get involved around those boxes does away with anything that Coldzera would have been able to do, and the flank is activated. The lurk may be exactly what they need, but will it take too long?
I mean, I think it already has. It just depends on how they play this, right? If Coldzera can get 1, maybe 2. Drop was ready for this flank. He's suspicious this is already coming in, and he might even clue into it as it pulls up. Cello, he's still far back his ramp. That's a molly on ticket. You've got to take this fight. Oh, switches guns at the worst time, but switches back now. That suspicion, does it come back in? Does it clue in? He goes to stick the plant. This is just going to be a freebie for Cello. For a moment there, it felt like the stars were aligning for Drop, but no, Imperial say it's our time.
All right.
Interesting.
Certainly. Timeout, first taken, first round lost in a, well, not in a long time, but a long enough time for it to be just their first, to where it makes sense to take a little bit of a step back and a breather and try and assess the situation and what your next move will be with the money where it is. They'd start to be kept more and more honest as the half was going along, to where early it was looking clean, but once Imperial started to drag back the kills, started to make those rounds where it was just pistols come down to only 2. That's where things get a little shaky.
It is about time that Imperial fended off an A-side push, though. Every time this defense has been tested, they just mowed through them. So, well, maybe not mowed through. There was the one clutch from coldzera, which you can't really take away from him. But Imperial have been putting a lot of pressure on this A site for the past couple of rounds. Now it's going to change again. Pace is still fast. This time it's B.
I feel like this could have been somewhat of a read maybe for Imperial, but it wasn't actually. And losing their site player, that's an unfortunate circumstance. Cello doubling up, that's great. No way on rotation, even better. Although Cello does get shot in the side of the head, this should still be a plant. No molly to deny that, an HE to stop the initial few seconds. But wait, the bomb, well, they've got it, they can get it, it's okay. All good. Split moment of maybe hesitation and a bated breath, but all's well that ends well.
Maybe not over just yet either, because Drop is in a very advantageous spot outside the market door. But this retake really kicks off with SHR's flank in the apartments. I don't think they want to go out without him, but maybe they do. Shots fired a little too early from Drop, and now the ace in the hole is gone. You've got to worry. coldzera's on 26 HP. I don't think he's going to be doing much this round, but maybe Drop will do it all himself. Now tucked into the bench, Barrel spotted, info given, coldzera knows, and he lurks around the smoke, and off angle against No Way should work wonders, pay dividends to what's soon to be a 6 for the Red Canids.
Okay.
The shot missed, no chance in hell, try is sent back into this team, and it's right back to the Red Canids' favor.
That's very cool to see them in this sort of action. To see them this entrenched in these rounds with what little they had invested. Well, not that they had much to offer more than that, unfortunately, but that's to no discredit of their own. Try as you may. The boys are back in town, but can they stay there?
I don't know.
Can they give us just a bit more?
I think mid's been the biggest point of contention right now, and honestly, if it's one thing to look at, I feel like it's kind of been in Imperial's favor most of these rounds. This might be another example of it.
Really good.
3 face towards Connector, and No Way doubles down, a triple not in sight. And the one big kicker of the round was the fact that they had an early big advantage. Now it's ripped right away. It seems like Punter knows somebody's in the balcony. Try. Don't think you're getting away with that one as good as your 5-7 may be. It's just one you're going to write off.
Certainly in good spirits do these pushes look to be on the CT side. It doesn't look like they're, you know, entirely flattened. They give it a good run. It's about as good as a round that you could have come up with on the drawing board, to be honest with you. And coldzera's just still sitting at the boxes. I mean, how could you possibly have expected that? And they just come and regroup with him. It wasn't going to be left to his own for all that much longer. And that makes his life all the easier to just justify peeking around that box.
So, this is kind of what was missing from the Red Canids the last time I had seen them. That confidence in dueling, right? I feel like it's been a while, and sure, it's only one map, so I guess it's not like it's a guarantee, but to see coldzera performing the way he is, doing the things he's doing, especially in a spot that he has now switched to. I mean, we already mentioned, I think, 3 or 4 times the fact that
maybe
he is
6
now
or 8
opting.
or 10.
However many you got to do it. More so, he has kills than the amount of times we've mentioned it, which is a little surprising. But
important.
It felt like the calling was still a little bare bones. Like the foundation was there, but it wasn't really any deeper. And alongside that, there was a lot of inconsistencies, especially when it came to players not really performing. Here, it's night and day, and Imperial just really can't keep up. Nobody's answering this call outside of, like, No Way. Right? And the fact is, you have Cello and Vinny both playing toward this B site. They're almost never getting involved with the rounds.
No Way trying to get involved in underpasses, going to get shut down with relative ease. It was a double peak. Again, it feels like just 2 steps ahead to Canids. Like, oh my god. It's baffling. It's really baffling to see such a new in-game leader, such a new team with such green players come together as neat as it has, and there's just so many moving parts to this system, but the cogs, they seem to be grinding along. I'm very happy to see this. Like,
this is awesome.
Their Mirage is one of the better Mirages I've seen at this level for a long time.
I mean, I'm hoping it's not just Mirage. I'm hoping we're going to see a lot of shades of this on the next map. Like, I hope it doesn't end here. Because this is an impressive Red Canids. I mean, also, right? Just imagine the story that Red Canids go all the way through and make EPL, and every person in the world is happy because you get to see coldzera on another T1 stage. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sorry. I'll slow my roll, but it's there. And right now, it's not looking all that unrealistic, especially playing the way they are. But Vinny might have something to say. A dink and a couple of whiffs go by his head as they go into the B site. It's a 3-on-4, but there's a lot of HP starting to drain, except for Try. His op sitting at the back of the window pillar. Not really boding well for the Red Canids, who eventually decide to call it quits and back off. coldzera will try their hand elsewhere. No, they'll try it in a save.
If there was any more time, they might have been able to just sit around.
Counter-terrorists win.
But even still, this 5-round gap they're going to be pretty okay with. Their teammates can buy pretty frugally. Trying to see if they can make use of the little utility that they're going to have spread across a couple of these guys. And even now, their mid control is non-existent. Their A pressure is about to pop out, unless they want those players in underpass to get into position first. But no, Venomzera is going to go on the lookout, and SHR spotting him just beforehand. Oh, the spam's perfectly placed on the line that he knows that Apex is in position from, but Cello in a good spot as well. How can this possibly be happening? Cowaz with an insane transition that we barely even got to see. I can't believe that. That needs to be replayed. That needs to be put into a clip because Cowaz is a killer.
Dude. And I mean, I literally came into the series saying, I don't know if Cowaz is going to fill the shoes he's got to fill. It looks like so far he's playing the role pretty damn well. And what a read from them alongside that. I know it's a 5-on-2, right? You practically won the round regardless of where you go. But, oh, well,
Cowaz has no right getting any more than 1 kill in this round. He got caught off by Cello, dinked by Cello, another player on Catwalk.
Dude. That's like
insane. That's one of the best plays you'll never see.
And it's also one of the most unfortunate rounds for Imperial too, because and which also gives more credit to Red Canids and the calling and the way they played that round. Because right, you have Venomzera and Co just kind of poking and prodding around ramp, but the fact that they kill SHR first, the fact that that's who falls, makes a massive amount of impact for the Imperial defense. That's the A anchor, right? They're usually putting one guy on site. You're responsible for maybe delaying, stalling, doing whatever you can to stop them from coming in, because Imperial's whole game plan, this whole half, has been couple towards Con, one off Cat, maybe one in window. We're going to fight for mid if they try to take mid control and play for a retake. But the second SHZ falls, everything goes out of whack. You see Cello jump off of Cat because he's got to go and address the problem that is now the A site. People moving out of connector. So Cowaz just walks up, says, there's going to be a couple of freebies here, catches 2 in rotation. Imperial just can't get their heads in front of what's going on.
Take a breather now, a reset. coldzera just a little bit late to the game on what was an awkward maneuver from the CT con player in search of information. Bumps his head against the railing on purpose. Flash for Try? No, not quite. He's going to be playing amidst this smoke just on the other ends of it, and realizing it is soon to fade, looks to get out of the way, and actually calls upon his bottom con player who sees someone getting a little bit too big for their britches, but then Try does the exact same thing in response.
Yeah, no, there's 2 players in con, and neither of them are swinging with him, and they're going to try walking this up. This is all individual right now. There's no trade potential for the person walking up mid currently. If they find this kill, it's as cold and dry as that. They needed it to go their way, because at the best, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Now coldzera, he and his op keep encroaching up Catwalk, awaiting for the next person to peek, which may be SHR. Abandoning his duties of the A site, anchoring in favor of holding down connector. Rather, that's Cello. I'm sorry. Now it's Vinny off Catwalk taking a fight. And what is going on? Nobody can step out in front.
Punter with 40 seconds. No control of the bomb, but the element of surprise in a few seconds might get pushed in on, though, and now Vinny has an AWP, so, missed shot on that jiggle, well baited, and now Vinny getting a little bit worried about that weapon, tries to change out, and, okay, now things are getting a little bit panicked, it feels. There's a molly, Ponter, if he can get out of the line of sight, he may be able to drop it into position, but instead, swings right where Vinny was anticipating it to come from, catches the frag, and catches a third, so that's a little bit to work with, but look at how honest they've been made in their savings. It's going to be a brutal bloodbath to close for both of these rosters, just scrounging together what they've got.
I'm surprised to see the buy coming in from the Red Canids, considering how this half has gone, really. But even with a couple bumps and bruises in that round, it seems Imperial are still standing, and now with the open hands, who really knows what's to come? SHR feel like he's been delegated to an MP9 for damn near this entire half, so he walks into ramp, tries to take some contact. Oh, timing could be everything, but Venom Zera's too ready. It's just not going to work, and No Way now fills the shoes.
Howez just trying to stuff connector for anybody to walk up that pick, and in jiggling, he actually keeps himself alive to Try, as another exposes themselves as wider than even he. I mean, Try is feeling kind of desperate right now between the two smokes to make something happen. What was that? A quick scope with a gap that barely even... The quickest of eyes could have possibly spotted. The end of this half may still come. Commiserations to Try, who hits probably the fastest shot he's hit in the entirety of the game and only his 5th kill. And at a 9-3 scoreline on Mirage, the pick of the Canids, this is looking dire.
And I don't think Vinny's going to answer that call right now. 4-9. Again, the sad life of a B anchor is you're usually not catching much action on Mirage, and it's not like you're going to get any here. A 9-3 finish for the Red Canids shows why they mean business.
This is a big upcoming from the Red Canids. It needs to be said, this Mirage has looked so very smooth. It doesn't really seem like there was any one faulty piece to their system. It's
No.
Imperial, unfortunately, who seem to have a couple of different difficulties coming across the board in many a way, and assessing only one of them would honestly be pretty hard. I don't really think there is one specific outlier. It's me, why not? It's Anthran at my virtual side, and it is the second half that is a very familiar pistol round about to unfold.
Interestingly enough, it'll be a long-winded crunch coming through Connector. And they'll still be walking right into the stack. Imperial are no strangers to buying utility on eco rounds. Did they throw a decoy in under? I think they did. And I don't think it's going to work out in the way they would have hoped. Molly in window, smoke and con. And this is going to encourage the players in Palace to move forward.
As they do eventually flood through, there's a player at triple, not from CT spawn, so that's where they're going to spring their trap. An easy one tap, as Ponter really hasn't had many a chance in this game to be one of the heroes. He's been a bit unsung, again, as one of the players taking on difficult responsibilities, given the chance and given the time, and when it's right, you can see what he's capable of, and already getting more than enough kills to require that this should very well be the finish mark for this half pistol round, unless something from Try is to be miraculous, but that would be unthinkable, unfathomable. Surely, I can't imagine that he manages to isolate enough 1 versus 1s to give me that belief in that faith system, but he's been given a room to move.
And here's where things get alarming. Oh, for a moment, I thought he was going to try sneaking into CT, but instead, no, he'll take his fight from stairs. Still 2 players ridiculously low, and if Drop misses his shot from ramp, oh boy, things are going to get awkward.
One tap.
But lines it up, takes his time, and the Red Canids can add another into what seems to be their massive sack of rounds with a pistol. But I don't... Is it weird to say I feel like I didn't see the vision there from Imperial?
No. It felt kind of weird, the pincer maneuver. Well, obviously, when it fails from underpass, it just, like you said, initiates the players in from Palace without many other options. So
yeah, you gotta buy here. It's not like you got a lot of rounds to play with. Couple mollies on Cat to make a thing go right, and you completely split their push right now. They've still got to move forward from the apartments. Try heavy flak as he tries to come and regroup with his teammates who just have measly tech 9s. There he pulls though, and it looks like he's just dropped the B anchor. Things getting sketchy and scary. Close-knit are these fights on the B site, but still somehow Imperial are finding themselves adding this impressive man advantage. The rifles paying no dividends for them right now until the dust settles and they find themselves in a 1-on-2 where Drop could be absolutely anywhere. They know about him from the first kill, but can't really afford to take these fights, can you? Vinny's so low. 1 bullet puts him to rest, and there goes the player in the apartments. It's all up to the caller with 17 health. He knew he was on Catwalk. He has all this info going his way, and Drop isn't going to let a measly force by ruin their momentum.
yeah, I mean, talking about having all the info, like, he really did. He had everything that he needed in order to make that an easy call. Not a problem. Drop repositioning without remaining stagnant, without finding himself boxed in with decisions that aren't easy. Instead, it was very cool, calm, and collected as he crab walked his way around the site, denying any audio cues and keeping those players apart. Walk the line, and it's one that you hope not to cross the Red Canids on right now, because here comes the next full buy in the next round from Imperial at 12 for the Canids, unless something sporadic can come through, as the only hero rifle has been given to the only player, giving us a run in no way.
I don't know what it is, but I'm getting a very nasty feeling about Kawez on Catwalk. Or maybe Coldzera is where the premonition came, because he'll be the first taking a fight. No way. On the off-angle boost through underpass, drops him, and now it's Kawez on Cat to get dropped next. What is going on? Ponter, I'm sorry, walks his way through the apartments. He'll at least claim this is land for the Red Canids, but I don't really know how much justice it does for him. Or maybe that'll change, because the bomb's walking back now.
You said something about the vision before for Imperial. Well, this seems to have a little bit of a vision behind it. Seems that they had their final destination in mark, and they've got their numbers in pretty decent spots as well, but it's still going to be a matter of multi-kills from the CTs to bring it all over. Drop the one to do it in the last. He's got a lot more work to do now. He's got a teammate to do it with him, and it's no way he's looked to not only clutch, but plant just as well. That's problematic, but he gets himself into that situation nonetheless.
But they've given him time. They've let him reset and go over to bench. They're not even hiding their route of approach. You line up for this Khalil, and it gets deadly. But Drop's got a quick trade. This guy is playing lights out right now. The past 2-3 rounds, he's been the guy. And that's a scary premonition. You know what it's reminding me of? It's reminding me of back when Crazy was still around. Back when everybody kept looking at Nexa as the guy, that fragging IGL. That's the vibe I'm getting from Drop right now.
Really weird niche call.
Yeah. Gotta show ball knowledge somehow.
Somehow, some way, sometime, someday.
Ooh, keep spitting.
But you won't, because Nexa was crap. No, I'm just kidding. He was really good at that point in time as a fragging game lead. Well, in Crazy, I don't think he was game leading in Crazy.
Was he not? I kind of swore he was.
I think he
That's
had
why he got grabbed for
Emmy.
G2.
I think he had Letney and Emmy at that point.
We're about to see whose ball knowledge is better.
Oh, no, he did.
Now.
He did in game lead because then they brought Emmy into a player role after he left, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because that's why he got picked up for G2.
Because Emmy was their coach, and then they put him into play. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got it.
I used to be a G2 fan back then, yeah.
That was an interesting time to be alive. Pre-Nico being a G2 fan was a pretty cool time.
Lucky Jackson Almanac on the same team.
That was
Somebody
cool.
needs to be fired. I mean, that was cool.
Lucky got fired eventually, and then...
Man, I loved Lucky.
Yeah, we'll talk. Well, he's still around. You still got him.
True.
But we still got this game to conclude just as well. And Cold Zera losing his head, losing his space in this server to where now an MP9 of Venom Zera tries to be the big bad in front of Ramp. I mean, he's got a smoke to delay them for quite a substantial period of time on their split. And if they want to play close, they're going to need to be absolutely laser focused, no way, while still moving, eventually slowed down just enough to find his first kill. And Drop's gotten ahead of all these smokes, not ahead of the player at Palace, though.
No, that's just too much of an ask for him. Maybe Cowes can provide some out route. Not entirely sure. Smoke fades. You know 2 players are around stairs. And for a moment there, it looked like there was a world. Try says no, so it's just Ponter left for the save. And Imperial won't at least go home empty-handed. But you're fighting for pride at this point. Be a very long time before we start discussing a potential comeback. You've got 9 in a row to grab, this being one of them. Good luck, buddy. Talk about lucky.
No luck needed.
I could talk about old G2 for hours, man.
All right, refrain.
Fnatic lover.
I don't love Fnatic.
It's a way of life, man.
I love the idea of Fnatic. Last time that I loved Fnatic was 2020.
Was that the Alex era?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was good. That was a fun Fnatic.
Mezzy.
Was that with Smooya?
Well, for a couple months there, yeah.
Okay.
Or is that 2020? No, this was 2021. Sorry, I'm thinking of 2021. But yes, that is the team that I was thinking.
Yeah.
They actually were doing pretty good, which is the crazy part.
They had a couple good events, didn't they?
They did. They had a pretty decent run of form. I don't know. I mean, obviously, track record would show that even when Smooya projects are doing well, something might be going wrong on the other side. Maybe the Swedes were feeling a little bit outmatched by a single nationality, so they said, "Screw this! Four Brits on our team. We gotta shake this up. We can only have one of you guys, and we choose Mezzy." And
I can't remember the timeline. Was that before or after Alex was on Cloud9?
After.
Okay, right, because he did get on Cloud9, picked him up to Fnatic. Okay.
Mezzy as well.
Cool.
Same time.
And Mezzy.
Yeah, they picked them both up from there. But again, we got a game, man. We're getting too nostalgic. I'd love to do it. I'd love to just sit here and
Forever young. And now's the time to do it. Hey, this isn't much of a
it,
discussion yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's talk about where Coldzera's been, dude. Let's talk about Coldzera's
he's been
trials and
everywhere.
tribulations, because this guy has been everywhere. He has been across the board in block. He's played with so many young talents, as well as a lot of the older crowd, even later in life with Henny and Phelps.
SK Gaming.
FaZe Clan. Complexity. There's not many players Coldzera hasn't played with. It's kind of crazy.
I'm trying to think about you. Actually, that's so crazy. I didn't really think about how many players Coldzera's truly been with.
Especially from Brazil, though, dude. It's crazy.
Am I tweaking, or did he have a stint where he like subbed for G2?
No, you're crazy.
Am I crazy?
Mm-hmm. I can tell you outright for money that you're crazy.
Okay. I'll give it to you. I still think SK was probably my favorite team to feature Coldzera. The SK era, I think that was really fun.
So the two-time major winning team is your favorite?
Okay, man.
Sorry.
Too mainstream for you?
little too niche. Did I bring up?
I mean, like the
Stewie
Stewie 2K SK era. I should specify. That was fun. That was
definitely fun. It was one of the only instances of a Brazilian team bringing in an international talent. Yep. Actually, as far as I'm aware, the only until this most recent Fury experiment that I can remember. Obviously, I mean, let me rephrase: South American talent, non-South American talent.
Sure.
Okay, well, drop. Adios. Imperial making good use of that AWP money that they've been able to scrounge together round over round as Tri begins to heat back up. I mean, 12-5, a better time than any, and maybe they can just cut down every other player, make this a quick 12-6, and continue to reset the space in which they're able to afford it. His Tri, as long as he's got his, Coldzera is going to be scratching for it.
The real meat of this round comes from that Venom Zera AK, so.
Venom.
Alright, well. Block smoke. I don't know if that's... maybe. That is where Venom Zera's AK is, right? So they might come waltzing into this A site, unbeknownst to them, walking into the one. Gun! Oh, couple lined up. Just
I thought he actually had him.
I thought it was maybe going to be a highlight reel because he was ready to flick the palace too. Like he knew that was coming. Just
when he tapped, I thought he would have killed one on the first tap, and then on the spray, I thought he would have had one, maybe two more. But you know, the heart was there.
Yeah.
The shots, unfortunately, were not.
Time. It's an eco round. Now things will really start to get interesting. I like to think about the comeback checklist. That first full-on rifle round where there's really nothing missing. That's a big box you got to check off. And Imperial, I think, have yet to do it. Now is their chance, but still 6 rounds down. Won't be the only time they have to. Out mid they go, a couple of flashes to assist. Coldzera rattles off a shot, backs up, decides to forfeit map control and say maybe a molly will be nice for you.
Yeah, maybe burn somebody out. A blind try. He is around this side, but he's elevated to the box to where the Rising of the Flames will not catch him. Be cool to sit. And he's actually going to take a little bit of initiative here and walking it up through mid. Maybe that could be overzealous. He walks it back, realizing he's going to need more in terms of a game plan to surround such a maneuver. It's Vinny who reins in the troops himself as he drops over a little bit of utility to his captain. No way he's going to take point. Try is going to come all the way back and loud about it, but no one to hear. This is where all of the bidding, in which his in-game leader has set upon him for this round, will come to a head. They knew there were 2 players in mid previously. They knew it could be a split, but instead, it'll be a false sense of security on extremity. And it will be only a late lurk from the side of, I believe, Cello. See what's going on here now, though.
Good start. When Tri opens up with the off, you know things are about to go well until you don't clear out Firebox, and somehow Venom Zera stays alive through Underbalk with a recovered AK. Nobody looking at this. Where's the comms? Where's the discussion? Nobody realizes he's crept to the balcony. And right now he's the one asset to try and win the round. No way, barely catches the glimpse of his dome and shuts it down. The Red Canids had one little inch to crawl that back.
Venom Zera almost acted as if they didn't know he was there at all. I think he needed to get a little bit aggressive given that time, that window. He was hoping that someone would expose themselves to his player at CT spawn on the cross, and he would have been right, but it was a sliver of a headshot angle to when they stutter step backwards. They're out of his sight line again, and they just say, all right, well, there he is, and step back into it, easiest duel of their lives. Venom Zera kind of needed to be an agent of chaos in that, and you can't really blame him. It's very, you know, high-pressure situation to be in, but if he just made that one change in play, it would have been the world. Cello knows Cowes is here.
You gotta take the fight
Locks
now,
himself
man.
into this, and he will go down. AK not quite E'd. Didn't quite get that E key going.
Well, all right. I feel
Alright,
like
alright.
now maybe we can start discussing it a little bit. That's a good looking round. It's a good looking round from Imperial, even with a couple of bumps. And now we're going on to what should be I mean, you can pretty much classify it as an eco, just featuring the one rifle.
Featuring Ludacris.
Okay, buddy. You're still in the SK era, huh?
Oh my god! Alrighty then! Only needed to see the footsteps of the Three Stooges, and they get absolutely bonked out for commission. Cello, a little bit of a freebie there for what's been a long and arduous game for him. Now getting a little bit of the love as No Way gets a little bit of the same on 2 different elevations. Finds himself his 21st kill, along with his 20th. And another round in to where this is high time. This is where they can really start to make the Canids sweat, because they know that they've got at least 3 gun rounds left, the Canids. They've got this, a save, a buy, and a force that'll be a little bit mixed with loss bonus reaching its peak, but this one is where it all begins to really make them question what the setup is.
I mean, so far it's just default.
It
2-1-2, nothing crazy. Couple smokes in mid, and now we start to see something a little more aggressive. coldzera gets into con with this op. They try to blow open the smoke. I actually think that was a misnade. So he doesn't even get that vision. He doesn't even get that knowledge that nobody's in mid. Now they've got to keep eyes trained. Imperial, I think they know that, but Bomb's still lurking around, leaving himself vulnerable to it. More damage to be dealt towards Apps as a few nades are exchanged. They try to deal with the man at Van. Ponter escapes. And now coldzera is posted on lower, which could very well be the next point of attack. And if Cello is not careful, he could be giving away one of the biggest picks of the game. Looks like he's about to jiggle into it too. You could tell. Pre-aiming it, getting ready, maybe even self-flashing, whatever he needs to. Oh, great flash. Gets nothing. coldzera forced off of his angle. That's big for Imperial.
And he wants to wait for this incendiary to fade and then continue to walk up. Somebody's gonna have to lay the groundwork. He does definitely do so. A half-blind transitionary spray. He may have had a couple of bullets in between to reset the accuracy, but just patient enough. And a 3 versus 3 where coldzera's got the cross. No one's going from left to right. And they do still have a player isolated out on an island in mid to where Cello is going to need to get involved soon. If they let him sit out there for too long, there's going to be issues that arise. The bomb also being planted, I believe, for him. I'd have to see directly, but the line of sights is being a window closed. They don't have a kit, and they don't have a chance in this round. It's going to have to be a first pick. I think Cello... Oh, they have a smoke? Oh, they're going to have to cross to the bomb in the first place to make good use of it. Yeah, no. Time too far ticked.
I mean, the nearest kit, too, is on catwalk, so it's not even like you're getting... Oh, my God. Cello's going to try to take the fight to him. He wants to get this off out of his hands. He's not done there. You got to go back in! He says, give me that off! I'm actually surprised, right? I thought the idea there for Imperial is because, you know, Cello's coming all the way up cat. It's going to take him a while to get back in on rotation. The one thing that stuck out to me was the 2 Molotovs of Imperial that were never used. I thought... I mean, the way Vinny just steps back on bench, throws the smoke, step back on bench, bank a molly, stop them from coming out, mark the door, keep that cycle till Cello gets involved. I'm actually surprised they get as close as they do, but it still works out, and that's been the synopsis for a lot of these rounds. Imperial, there hasn't been perfect, flawless, untouchable things, but it's still working. Everybody is stepping up now.
I'm more concerned with the fact that bomb wasn't planted for Cello in that moment. If they just cross to that smoke, they lose. So, like, yeah, clip the player's wings from out the sky on his jump, but like that was the necessity into converting that round. But, all's well that ends well. They don't really have to worry about that. But for future reference, that has to be a conversation where it's either Cello, you gotta get your running shoes on there, pal, or B, somebody's got to communicate that the bomb is not planted for Bro.
Oh, that's so
flashbang into ramp. It's just a little bit too deep. That's when you freehand a flash. That's why there are so many set flashes nowadays for those kinds of plays. And frankly, it's something that I'm trying to personally reinvest my time into rediscovering, because I think it's actually a pretty big part of getting ahead in Counter-Strike in the modern day meta, is just having flashbangs and HEs that are preset to do the certain job, right?
Yeah, I think theoretically, the team with the best flashbangs should be winning the most.
For sure. And then also I was saying in my own head actually a round ago that I don't know if teams have this, but I want to see if I could find like a really good set HE to throw from window as a CT into the T's top mid smoke that blows it for an upper and connector to see. Does that make sense?
No, I get you.
Did I word that?
Yeah, because I feel like now the top mid smoke is deeper in CS2, or at least by the meta. I'm pretty sure it's shifted.
And people are using it in the pro level more than they used to.
Yeah, instead of a window smoke, because I mean,
in addition to it, even.
I feel like it's like shifted. Whereas in Go, if you could throw the window smoke, you're always throwing that window smoke. But now, if you only have one smoke, you'd rather smoke top mid.
The top mid smoke was like the noob smoke in Go.
Yeah, yeah.
But now,
like, was I don't know window, but y'all want to get out boxes?
Well, now the idea is that you throw both because you can blow smokes, so that you still don't have knowledge as to whether or not there's a player on the back end of that. And first time in a long time, is going to be able to find his kill. Did he block it with his body? I think he might have blocked it with his body.
No, it's a missed window.
Okay.
It hit underneath the lip. They just missed it.
Who is it? Who was it? We're demo reviewing, and whoever that is getting kicked.
Besides, even if you body block that smoke, it wouldn't go that far.
No, yeah, I just didn't see. Because I remember in old SK, they used to stand on the windowsill and use their whole body to block it, and that was awesome. They were the original innovators of how to deny that.
That's so ironic. Imagine, this comeback's on. We just talk about the history of window smokes, and they might lose the game because of a missed window smoke.
The likelihood is pretty high right now, in my opinion, because there's a minute left out of this clock. They have no mid control. They only just now get somebody up through under, and if Try is very quick on this shot, then maybe they can get on a full sprint, but now they're just going to start stuffing nades. 50 seconds, smoked out. Good luck getting up boys, at least into an uncomfortable space to where drop has been before.
Even if they get up con, right? Look at where the bomb is. It's not even decided of a destination just yet. Even if you find this kill on Cat, it's going to take so long to get it into a site. And Imperial, they just aren't playing with the pep in their step that they need to be. Running up Cowes eventually has to give them that pick back, but I'm keeping my eye locked onto this timer. They're still stacking nades. They're still stacking bodies and throwing it at the problem. It's one missed window smoke and everything falls apart. Imperial, their comeback attempt short-lived, as when we get to 10 rounds for them, the Red Canids close it out and say, we are the victors of Mirage.
Dude, that was a I try not to repeat the same quotes over and over again, but that was a 5 fingers of one hand Red Canids. I want to see if they can keep that up into this next map and into the series perhaps, because if they can, I mean, honestly and truthfully, maybe Pro League isn't that far. Also, one of the last outings we will get to see from this Anubis, you and I. One of the last instances we may be able to cast this map, for better or for worse. I'm a fan of the map, but even still, that doesn't change the fact that it will soon be exiting our pool in favor of Overpass. So with that, these teams that have been preparing on it for so long a time, that have been playing with it for so long a time, are going to be giving us, hopefully, their best. And that's exactly what we're going to need from Imperial if they want to prove that we can go to a map 3.
Well. I was kind of going to make a fun of that, but I didn't want to say it. I think this one is kind of a tough cookie because, like, even if Imperial look really good on it, and, you know, then they go back to kind of like our taste, because this is probably one of the last times you'll see it being played, but I guess that's just the way of the world. For now, it's a slow start. Imperial just knocking a couple of nades over, doing some damage to Venom. Zera tries the first to take contact as a couple of bullets whiz by his head. He'll back right back into the site. So, seems both teams just waiting for one infamous shot to start everything off, or maybe not, because now you look elsewhere in SHR and Co. are taking a duel in A main. So far, Nobody falls.
Talking about the shot heard around the world right now. The one that started it all.
The fall.
It's a big revolution here about to rise up in E-Box, and SHR is the one on a sliver angle trying to take it away. It's a Molotov that comes actually into E-Box as a CT smoke will go as well. They were going to peek behind it. That was the plan. It was an idea very well crafted intentionally by Red Canids that's been also very well shut down by the B-site player in Anchor and Cello.
Is this a flash for main, or is this a free-handed flash for a push? Either way, it looks like eventually Imperial are going to take the favored contact. As all the pistols start chirping up in their favor, still yet to see a rebuttal. Coldzera's P250 provides somewhat of an out route, and there's another one off the Glock. How is this spun on its head? Coldzera's still low, but if Drop can make ends meet on Cello, then this round opens right back up, running out of bullets. Oh my god! What is going on around this pillar? Somebody's got to find it. 5 seconds to go. They have to stick to plan, and now Vinny ran away because he didn't think there was time. They both may swing out together. It's the long-sided push from him. They're just going to group and double swing this. Why not? Coldzera decapitates him. And the Red Canids, after being down 5-on-3, have robbed Imperial of it.
Coldzera folded under no pressure, man. He reloaded and got his opponent reloading around the pillar and spams all 12 bullets again and shaking his mouse. Can't connect the damn thing. Cow as his double is what really gets them back into that, frankly, is he gets a very, very snappy kill onto the player back of default, and if he doesn't, he gets instantly traded. Or I guess not necessarily traded, just killed after the first miss, but he doesn't. See a big W. Locked down. Where the Canids were looking to get shut down. Okay. SHR taking matters into his own hands on a solo B-side hold. He walks it through and gets a kill, actually, so that's not something you'll see every day.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
But, I mean, at the same time right now, there's nobody on B. If the Red Canids just walked up and started to take some spots, there would really be nothing they could do about it. And this is a bold call for Imperial.
That B site, it's been shaken by SHR just enough to where that's probably a gamble worth making right now, Anthran. I mean, take your main control little by little, piece by piece. Smoke deep, molly close, and a smoke in between sent by the CT just as well.
Oh my!
Mid flash is really nice, but it's just a little bit choreographed to the point where the bounce off the wall is easily turned from.
That's one of those peaks where you get flashed in and you just absolutely scream the second you get to the other side of that corner. I've been in those fights.
You're always screaming, though, so when is that any different?
Okay, man. You know, that's just, you didn't have to clock me like that.
Sorry.
Well, there's not a lot of util for a retake, and that, I think, is where the issues are really going to start to come through, especially considering you've still got Drop and Coldzera on rifles. They can hold these... Oh, wow, I'm shocked Coldzera didn't see that shoulder originally, but Try only lands a few bullets before this retake effort really starts to come through. They have a kit on Cello. It's not like time is of the utmost importance, but still have to put some pep in their step, and Cello's coming through from one of those long-range angles. This is what I was talking about. This is where the rifles could start to get problematic, and they don't really have the liberty of waiting for this B main flank to come around, because Coldzera's just picking you off one by one. He's gotten away with way more than he should, and he knows it, so he backs into connector and says, now you're going to have to trade me out, even running out of bullets. They gotta dump the nade. Coldzera affords to his tally, and maybe even an ace if he can get the last with the P250. No, but it's still a Red Canids round.
We'll escape with that. The bomb radius isn't that big. His team lucky to get that gun. One of the T's actually does go down with the C4, though. Down with the ship. At least Bro doesn't have to worry about getting chased down. 2-0 T-sided map. This is a good start for this map in particular. Obviously, one of the most T-sided maps in the game. People are criticizing it most deeply for its difficulty on that defensive and how awkward it can get. And this might be an instance of just that could serve up a good win on a silver platter for the Canids. Here's the AK-47 for Cello, though. Player number 4 on your screen, still placed up at that B-bomb site. Same responsibilities, despite his difference in capabilities.
Soon go for... Oops. No, I thought with the second person behind him, that was the idea. Instead, just firebombing the doors and saying, we'll walk up. Shouldn't be much threat. It is just 5-7s, even though the flashbangs can make them a lot more deadly. I'd almost say that's a win for Imperial. 2 players within 1 bullet of falling. That could be huge, especially with this B main flank coming through, and only 2 players have eyes on it. Monter, though, one of the wise trained eyes with full HP. A couple of tags won't be too shabby when 5-7s hit the deck, and now looks like that damage will be meaningless.
Still, I guess, a world where Vinny can grab a gun, maybe. He can get into the heads of his opponents and just play on an off angle. One they may not sniff out. But then just maybe. But that's a hefty maybe as is. Outwardly, they face in towards the site. And Vinny tucks to the wall. There's that first, a good headshot even. The next being coldzera was pretty much a necessity, though. Seeing as the healthy man loses very little, not really much room for them to work otherwise.
Not a bad save, though, for Cello.
No.
They probably get an op-out because of this now. So we'll get to see early on if maybe they can try to stop that, even though I don't think the op was a crazy impact on the CT side of Mirage. I mean, then again, I don't really think we saw it all that much. I'm trying to remember back into different points, but didn't really get to see it a ton. And I want to see how Imperial play with the time, right? Because on Mirage, I critiqued the utility a little bit. It felt like it was being thrown very haphazardly, sometimes way too soon. So far, the Red Canids have employed a very slow strategy. You want to have your utility. You want to have your nades for those very last 20, 30 seconds of a round. And I think this rifle round could dictate that. I mean, or obviously they could change the pace and really start to throw everybody for a loop, which they've also done. So, hey, that's why they're in the server.
It is why they're in the server. It is true. They've battled their way here for just such an occasion.
What you got, Vinny?
Well, they've got a couple of good nades they can use to stuff on this A site, should they be there in the first place, but it is very B-oriented. They want this and they don't want to pressure it without any nades in place first. So there go the flashes, there go the nades to a common position, and the execution was a little bit snappier than I think Imperial were ready for. But Cello, usually the one stuck in the back of the bomb site, given responsibilities amidst Temple, it's SHR who has full vision even so.
It's not done yet. coldzera, dude, he's on a tear today. And with a missed off shot from Tri, things only get more daring. Couple of mollies still remaining on the likes of the Red Canids. Likely soon to be used up. Try another shot goes by the skull, and it's just up to him. I'm not even sure where the other kill came through. I think Drop got it and I didn't even notice, but the mollies keep bouncing to the feet of Try, who exchanges to the M4. Well placed. Smoke thrown on Palace. He'll continue his creep and crawl up, but they're both playing together. coldzera not even backing away. He says he wants the fight. He wants to take a third with him. Even going for the full stick. It's coldzera's responsibility to stop it. And again, they're off to a hot start. Red Canids are wiping the floor.
Dude, coldzera's having fun with it right now. It looks like one of those moments where, you know, there's a bit of a between as far as his aggression and his passivity in his career has gone, right? Obviously, most people will know him for his passive plays, for his late round clutch scenario potential, for him being a little bit of a quote-unquote baiter, but very much so willing to take duels at this stage of his career. That hasn't really been something I can criticize him for in the recent, like, year and a half, 2 years. He has changed himself in order to be, you know, a more versatile piece. And in this team, it feels like he's almost kind of granted, now that he is the team's AWP player, more room to play those late round scenarios. So in some senses, it does make sense that he's taken up that role because his positions grant it, and he certainly can deliver on a rifle when given his ideal positions to do it from. It's actually like a nuanced layer to this change that I never thought about until saying it right then, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, well. I'm about to see a change in this round. Tries off, spotted in mid. How's that for a coldzera op? Big threat dealt with. A couple of the heavy hitters of Mirage we've still not even really seen featured or spoken the names of in this 4-0 start. But this could potentially be a case of a round why you don't want to have an op even on an eco to go against. Because right now, they're walking toward B, and that's exactly where Try's repositioned. However, they'll take an extra few seconds to think about where they want to go with this. The Red Canids, like I said, they started this game slow. They're not going to be completely out of the bark of playing it here.
A little bit of a walk up. I want to know how dry they're going to go on this because it looks like they're going all the way. It looks like they're going to clear every angle in a pocket in this duo. Cello. Desert Eagle's looking a little bit low on its crosshair placement to where they're actually to swing from, and he misses his timing by just a split second. 2 players now here. Vinny elevates himself kind of awkwardly, and it makes it an easy duel. Even then, Cow is blocked by his teammate, and all this damage inflicted again. Deja vu. And the Red Canids may just actually get that same semblance of a round because it's all unconfirmed. Tries off. Good luck picking them apart 1 versus 1. It's going to have to be no ways 5-7.
I'm just saying, I don't like how close Try's op is getting to this. It's not like you can't reinvest it, but it's money they do not need to be throwing away because they still don't have a backlog of themselves, right? Like, you're buying next round regardless. Actually, I'd even argue Try's going to have to buy for no way. But could also just be content on the MP9. Whatever the outcome may be, Imperial really need to cook up something. If I'm Imperial, I'm taking attack pause because... I mean, yeah, T-side of Anubis, right? It's nothing crazy out of the ordinary, but it's still a 5-0 start, right? It doesn't matter how sided a map is one direction or another. You only really need, like, 1 or 2 more rounds this whole half to call it a good, done, dusted deal.
I don't know about what. Are you talking about Red Canids?
Yeah, you know, you win a rifle round, goes back to...
Oh, I thought you meant that Imperial could do with 1 or 2 rounds and a half.
No, I'm just saying.
I'd say that's...
They're down 5-0, right? Like,
yeah.
Technically speaking, 5 rounds isn't the end of the world, but it's the fact that Imperial still are not close to cracking the code in a lot of these rounds.
Yeah. Thought you were being a little bit more heinous than that, and I know that not to be typically true about you.
Nah, come on, we all know I got my hot takes.
2 rounds on Anubis is not enough.
I think
we
my...
referenced yesterday.
I'm just going to say it. I think Train as it was before was fine.
I got 2 rounds on LAN on CT side Anubis and managed to bring it back to, we lost 11-13, but, you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty respectable.
I think my favorite LAN story was being a shoe-in for one of my buddy's teams in the Big L.
You mean a stand-in?
Played Anubis. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was calling for him. Can't remember what their name was, but it was an advanced team. And I remember they called their last tack pause, and they were all screaming at each other. While we were winning, like, I think 11-5 or something.
Oh my god!
And that was the best feeling ever.
Did you win?
That was great. No.
Oh, dude! You had to leave out that.
16-11. I'm kidding.
Did you win? No, 16-11. It's Coldzera's ex-teammate. He was there.
No way!
Isn't that funny? All these coincidences. Oh, if you know, you know. We don't have to do much explaining right now. But this is a gun round we do have to zoom back in on and lens up to see that. Actually, I was going to say Venom Zera, he's got 0 kills as they're 5-0 up. But this is one of those conversations we had yesterday about how, I mean, Doxy was 1-9 when they were winning, like, I think close to like 6-7-0, and then they just lost. So it won't become a problem until it is.
Oh, I think Try saw a gun barrel walking up through that smoke. He's got the jump on him, and they don't even realize it. I will say, even though it's not worked out amazingly to win them rounds, Try's off is being very fluid right now. The Red Canids really can't get a read on it. This is, I think, the 3rd or 4th round that they've actually gotten the opening pick.
In. No way actually getting way more damage than he has any right getting away with. Now can just fall on SHR's laurels. Hope that he can hold the line. And if he can't, again, no way can swing wide with them on their attention taken away. And now forced to save. This is a little bit of a culture shock, perhaps, for the boys.
Yeah. But it's about time Imperial closed out one of these rounds. Because making that point I just did, I realized the pistol rounds, it's Imperial finding 2 opening picks and getting away with it too. It's not like it's, you know, they go take a fight, it immediately gets traded kind of opening pick. It's as cut and dry as a 5-on-3. The 4 spy after that, I believe it was SHR walking up B main, finding an opening pick, 5-on-4. They get away with that. The first rifle round, 5-on-4. They get away with that. The last
They
eco
can't keep
round,
getting
5-on-4
away with
up,
this.
draws up. It's almost every round they've been the ones to find the opening pick and reset to the 5-on-4. It's not like it was a quick trade. And every round they had lost. So that needed to change specifically. And now still is Try changing where he goes with this op. Now it's A main.
Molly, and that will hit one of their two toes and dropping a smoke just ahead of himself while Venom's there is tucked. Try missing that actually makes him much more. 3 Molotovs on his feet right now? Good lord, yeah, he better be getting out of there. Loses his friend. Holy ghost. What is happening in this execution? They still have 1:10. They don't have to go too crazy on this. They can still peak themselves just a little slower. Tries getting wacky. He goes to the pillar. All he needs is a shoulder. If they had one of those 3 Molotovs that they threw on the same spot, they may have been able to flush him, but now it's done again, and Coldzera is the last left alive.
Yeah, that's miscommunication out the wazoo. I mean, it's just it's as simple as that, right?
Out the Zywoo.
I think it's even worse that you don't even get the kill with it. It wasn't even just 3 mollies, mind you. It was 3 mollies and an HE. And Try walked away with 76 HP. Like, the fact that he barely got tagged off of that, I think, is an even bigger problem, because he goes on to pretty much do almost everything for them in that round. Goes back to site, drops the bomb carrier, smoke expires, drops another. So,
I think
you just really can't be allowing that.
Dude.
Sorry, you're right. You're right.
You're not allowed to be critical of the players.
No.
Oh, right. I mean, I get the idea. I get the concept. He was trying to hop up and over to drop in a better crouch walk kill, but very fastest Try. We know this. We've been knowing this. He may not have been in peak performance all of the last map, but he was still certainly there.
Another opening pick for Imperial.
Another one.
Said that a lot of times. I'm still kind of biting my lip, waiting. I love this angle, though. I feel like this is something you can't really deal with. SHR, I doubt he commits to a fight here. Yeah, just jiggles, gets the info, backs into the site. And now the response from Imperial, I thought was going to be to take connector, but no. He's still going back into CT. This AK has a chance. Now things get topsy-turvy. They've got this great avenue to try and pincer onto either side of their choice right now, and you have to be paranoid of Con. You have to be paranoid of Palace. You have to be paranoid of B main. Imperial are not sitting in a good spot right now.
Here are these nades popping out. Waltz into this site, and there's Try with a 5.7, relying on his rifle to be a little bit higher in firepower, but he can do it himself as well. He's not a helpless player, and that is certainly not true in this round where he collects onto 4, man.
This is what we needed to see out of Try, especially with the change in this map from Mirage, where Mirage, I feel like, beyond a couple of T-sided rounds where that comeback was in order, we didn't really hear about it at all. He wasn't really spoken of. He wasn't really the opera that we know him to be. So I'm just loving the night and day shift that it feels like we're seeing from Imperial. And now it's starting to make the Red Canids sweat a little bit, using a timeout of their own to reset this timing. Even so, it was still a little alarming. But a buy comes out. Couple of kills, maybe not too bad of an ordeal for the Red Canids. They'll take that on their eco. So long as they can get back on track here, I don't really think they'll mind. But a default to start this off, nothing called off spawn.
Maybe the AK-47 for Coldzera is just a better move. And that's not even to say that he's, like, playing inherently bad with it. It's just like he's never
just been playing so good on the rifle.
I was just going to also say he's never really been given a shot when he has the op. So where if he's in one of these, like, more clutch scenarios, he may just be better off using an AK-47 to tear them apart.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as the game progresses, right, less and less people are using T-sided ops.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that's also because people nowadays are kind of afraid to fall into the primary op role, and we're experiencing a wave of hybridism.
Sure.
Oh,
wait.
At least at a lower level, if we're
at
talking like
B-main
tier 2 and 3, but yeah.
Ponter is responsible for everything that's going on, and I believe he's heard footsteps come all the way up. Oh my god, SHR! He didn't clear the angle! There's the free pick. They thought they had B-main dead to right, but instead, now you've got to earn it back. Try. Stuck on this side of the map with the op, but that's way bigger than you may anticipate. They've gotten mid so many different times. Try has been the bane of every single one of their rifle round pushes. Now they know where he is. They've got him locked into this B site. They can crunch on A against 3 players for all they care.
But that's actually part of the plan. They kind of want to use the fear that may have been put into them by that player and try to use these numbers to catch them off guard, because they've all turreted up. No way easy enough first. He can just burst out for some damage, or maybe another kill to finish. Vinny should be the one to seal the deal. His drop is in no position to be taking the duel IGL versus IGL, or no. Maybe Try, who's at 18-second mark, going to catch him knife out, pinned against the wall on the first bullet, no less. Dude, Try is playing the game.
I'm loving it, man. Again, I already mentioned it, but he's on fire right now, and Imperial are playing with it. You said it yourself. They were using that fear. Try is playing so out of his mind that you know, right? When that op is spotted, it's going to be as basic as, we just got to go the opposite direction. Imperial, off of Try getting a pick on B, send, I believe it was No Way, all the way through CT spawn to come back to A. That's how afraid of the op they are right now. This is just a quick pop that's not going to go anywhere. Doesn't really get started off of the ground, and 3 Tech-9s immediately fall with no response, just trying to flush the last man out of connector, let alone get a bomb plant drop doing damage. The 2 kills is all they get.
All right, well, from 5-0 to 5-5, that is a turnaround and a half. Not something you'll see every day, but you know, feeling a little bit vindicated as Try, who had a slower start on the last map, as I'd said, and now is just kind of getting hot and ready to ride for the remainder of this map at the very least. I mean, he can say he's done his part for this half well and truly. Into the next, he's going to need some of his riflers to start to step up in these moments where individualism is called upon. He's not always going to be there to bail them out. He may be in a cold Zera position when it comes to having the AWP, where he's locked out from having impact in a round because all of his teammates have since been passed on.
I mean, how do you get a read on this? Feels like the Red Canids. I mean, look at this around the board. They don't want to be jiggling B main. They don't want to be jiggling mid. They don't really want to jiggle A main. They're even burned out now. They want to take it, but the Try is just too damn good. Dump HEs, dump mollies, do whatever the hell you want. He's still walking. Cold Zera says, let me take matters into my own hands, diving inside of the mid-smoke, but he himself is taking heavy flak now.
He's an action hero movie walking through the fire. An action hero movie star is what I was trying to say. But even then, cool guys walk away from explosions, so we're going to need to see maybe an HE behind him next time. Who knows? That is actually kind of what happened. They threw an HE as he ran away, so I guess, you know what, that's two things checked off the box. He's officially signed to Hollywood, but the light still shines on the Canids in this round, seeing all this space they've been able to garner with 2 players on B. That's going to be an easy set of kills for them to find, so long as they don't get aggressed upon on the B push. I believe the player in E-Box is going to be the biggest of linchpins.
They got to go in. They just don't have the time.
They
wasted so much waiting for these smokes to fall out. It's already
E-Box
done.
player needs
Even
to
if they get
peek.
these kills, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're right. It's just that E-Box player had to be there at the perfect time to take contact, and he just wasn't. That was the only way. Realistically,
a 3-2-1 almost.
Well, the problem, you couldn't even 3-2-1, right? Because you go into the site, you got 15 seconds.
I don't know, man. Certainly feels bad for what should have been, again, a relatively easy conversion. Just needed to walk it in, and walk the line on a good time. The off of try, I mean, test him again, but this one surely is too much for him to get. One, that's enough. A no-scope would be all too much to handle. As everybody is still blinded, he gets another chance at life. His teammates are fragging, and he stays alive at the pillar. How is this allowed? Immortal, plot armor, anything you want to call it, but this man simply refuses to go down.
Imperial, they just got the Season 2 villain on their side. Troy, he's the bigger enemy we never thought about. And the Red Canids, they've been hit hard. A 5-0 start turned 7-5. And the Imperial, who picked Anubis, have started to run the show.
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
A 7-round run, maybe mostly in part thanks to Try and his efforts, just running around like it's a DM server on that CT side. And I doubt that's going to slow down as we shift into the pistol. They've already given him the P250, and you know what's about to come.
Whatever it is, I don't really know. I mean, you might. You might have a premonition of the future. I'm feeling a little bit anxious right now as to what may go down because Imperial, they don't need this one, but it'll be a very smooth start to what has been a turbulent beginning turned into a beautiful finish, a storybook wrapped up in its arc. Smoke and a flash for Ponter. Now only the smoke as they've gone through into A main. They've gotten their opening pick, and the Canids are off to something a little more smooth.
We saw it from Imperial, constantly getting openers, never being able to finish rounds on top of that. Now it's the utility that they like to go in with. And there's the dualies shining up from the site pillar, getting a double. And SHR's trade is almost meaningless because by the time they get in, the rotations should be here or not. But the bomb's yet to go down, and this spam could be on the money. You're kidding. Oh, that sucks. They throw everything, and they thought maybe it's just enough hope to get that bomb down. Play the post. Vinny now's got to answer for everything. And there's a crossfire in Con, so even getting that far might be too much to ask. And there's a show of the Red Canids we haven't seen in a pretty decently long time. Imperial, again, that first half, the big issue at the start was they were riddled with this issue, this curse of getting an opening pick and eventually just losing the round in a pretty clean sweep. That changed in the 6th, never stopped. Finally, Imperial don't get the opening pick, and the Red Canids run away with it.
Molotov for Ponter. Incendiary miraculously being jiggled on to stop them if they want to go fast.
Pretty raw B-pop, though. Through the fire and flames, the first comes by SHR's, Mac 10. I'm surprised they could somehow muster up the SMGs to getting in first, but this should have wound up. No, it never mind. The Red Canids, they had nades pulled and everything, but still end up getting mowed down. Vinny's Tech 9 this time as an answer.
Hey, beat. This is not the round you wanted to fold over if you were the Canids. This is not the round that you wanted to be made a fool on. It felt like there was something working in your way, trying to get some confidence built back up to what was already a very aggressive return. And this one's got to be another hit to the mental, man. I mean, 7-7 all, and then them not having much left in the cash. That was room for you to set yourself apart for at least a little while longer, but now you're just feeling a little bit hopeless, like you've been placed into an abyss. The 2-round distance is so very awkward. Venom Zera having this rifle also makes their decisions a little bit weird. I mean, they've got a force, but around this rifle, what are they going to do? What is the plan they cobble together? There's not very many an option, but the only certainty is that he is going to have to be an integral part of it.
I remember one round on that CT side where, I'm sorry, well, technically their T side, where Venom Zera had the only AK. And it almost made, I'd say, a miracle run. They went through CT, tried to go into A, missed a shot, but then they cleaned it up. Moral of the story is, I feel like Venom Zera is probably the one you want to be giving a rifle in these clutch situations, either him or Cold. Even though Cold's had a bit of a slowdown too, nonetheless. Actually, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe Cold was 10-2. So, ugh.
Look at them walk in on two different sides of the same coin. This aggression from Cello is met with a kill. He does get what he wanted. More on the arrival, though. They wanted the rifle, but goodbye, good night. Try. A1S is working it. They just push it through. And the B-site players who put all their faith on the other really just couldn't do a whole hell of a lot about what was going on.
I mean, you're right. He did get what he wanted. They wanted Venom Zera to get involved. But when your hero by rifle immediately goes down dink for dink, it kind of paints a picture of what's going to happen in the rest of the round, I feel. But could save an AK. Could have something to write home about. That is, if Imperial don't come and rob it away from you. Vinny looks pretty poised to go in and get his hands dirty. So it's not like you're going to be handed this rifle for free. And they even flash in that 5.7, seeing if they can't multiply. But Osmosis doesn't work in Counter-Strike, and I don't even think it'll save you your AK here. So a 9-6 start to the half is when we see the buy come out from the Red Canids and actually get to see if Imperial can force us to a third or not. This round will be telling of the rest of the game.
Nades up. Not much to stave off. I mean, just looking at what they've done to the Canids, they're going to be feeling the ramifications of this one for generations. Their kids' kids are going to be paying back the debt that they've amassed. Coldzera, I mean, he's the only one at double-digit kills right now, and he's been there for like 6 rounds now. 7, maybe even. Actually, I think I'm not even kidding. It might even be closer to 9 or 10. He was 10 and 1.
It was either 10 and 1 or 10 and 2. But point is, he is like dropped off a cliff in this game,
and nobody
series,
else has
honestly
started to climb it.
Yeah. So until that changes, I mean, it cannot feel good to be calling for the Red Canids right now. I mean, it doesn't even feel like Imperial in some of these rounds are doing anything crazy, but they're just playing with the hot hands. Letting players like Try just maybe take a kill with him, or maybe even SHR to some degree. Oh, wait, is this going to be the fabled unicorn round? No way, right?
5 saving.
Come on, come on. Oh, please. Oh, please.
Nah, they're going to get hunted at some point.
Nah. There's no reason for Imperial to hunt right now.
Nah, they're going to
especially
get hunted
SHR.
Nah, they're going to get hunted at some point.
Come on. Oh, I'm praying. Oh, I'm praying. You have no idea. There's no reason for Imperial to hunt, by the by.
I don't think this has ever happened to me.
And I'm going to say this because there's also a very low bomb radius, right? So, come on, start running from that bomb. You know, you want to get out of the site and not take damage. Please. Oh, please. No. No. Vinny. No, Vinny.
It's not
no.
going to die. It's not going to die. Oh.
No.
Explain to the chat what that mean, what you were even looking for.
A unicorn round is a round where there is 0 damage.
None.
No damage inflicted whatsoever. Man.
There'll always be another. Just kidding. There's not. You're never gonna get another one of those. Sorry, brother. 5 rifles. Wow. 5 sets of armor, 5 sets of full utility, 5 players looking to grind their way back into this map, and they're going to do it with the utmost level of aggression. Venom Zera opened up, and then opened up quite literally. Put on the operating table. Nice nade. Cello was already low in damage back, even beyond that. The nade up the wall, and Vink! I thought I would have killed him. No, SHR the ones who do eat a little bit of damage.
Oh, there's another nade. Drops dead.
So awkward. No, he's not dead.
I thought they bounced it right off the wall into the corner. I'm not going to lie. I think they intended to.
I don't think a 52 damage HE exists unless it makes him right on the noggin.
That is one of the craziest opening round exchanges you're going to see in a very long time. And it wounds up with Imperial having full control of Canals. And maybe the Red Canids trying to go for re-aggression. 2 of them in connector. And Kawez looks eager to get involved.
He wants something out of this. Going to go for it eventually by the flashbang of the T's that'll actually spiral him onwards. What? SHR deals with not the first, the second as well. As far as walking into E-Box on 16 HP, I can't even fathom how efficient he has been in that.
He heard Poncher too. He knows there's a third in CT. SHR's rampage isn't done. He's got 3 in the tank. All of his kills this round come on 16 HP. I love thinking about the domino effect, right? Because you remember the start of this round where Drop is the one throwing that HE inside of the smoke. If that nade is a bit shallower, Red Canids win the round. SHR doesn't walk up and finds 2 kills in con on 16 health. He doesn't deal with the player lurking in CT spawn. Oh, what could have been?
A lot of ifs. And that's going to be also one that if they do end up watching this back, the Canids are going to be like, wow, we were right there, man. So very tantalizing has been the thought of getting another round following a pistol round success. If they lose out on this map with just 1 CT round and that being it, it's going to be a bit of a heart pain. And already beating the drum of Anubis' conclusion, Imperial and crouching upon that 3rd map, wanting to go that full way and revitalize their efforts on Nuke. It would be... They've shown that they can hang. They've shown that they can hang both on Mirage to a certain extent, and here now, even more so.
And they aren't even going to bother going for aggression here either. The Red Canids tried to take the first step forward into Canals the last round, maybe shied away from it because of things not going their way. And there's the only gun, gone. That's a commonality in some of these rounds when there has been a weapon. If it's just one hero by, it's immediately taking a fight and typically losing. Something we mentioned earlier was the fact that nobody stepped back up for the Red Canids. This is the time to answer that call. Guns laid dormant on the ground of mid, easily recoverable. But the advantage, maybe not so much. Bombs, wait, actually, oh my god. Look where Punter's at right now. He doesn't realize it, but the bomb is still in spawn. They have to walk back into him and catch a glimpse of a duel. Trade is there. But how long does it take for Imperial to turn around and go recover? How long does it take for Coldzera to come in and try to find his way in this round?
Not long.
His first kill in 10.
Bomb down. He's reading the situation, though. Reading it so well! What is the experience that's shown from Coldzera in this moment? Again, he's been quiet all half. He's been quiet for a majority at the end of the first. But that may have actually given them an alleyway, a thin one, to crawl through and see the light at the end. Good lord, that's crazy. That's the round that Imperial offer up? Out of all of them?
No business.
No business.
I mean, this round is as simple as if the bomb carrier, or if somebody goes and gets the bomb earlier, right? Before that flank comes through mid. But it's something you could not have predicted whatsoever. And the best part for the Red Canids is that was a whole team effort. Everybody was involved in the process of winning that round, except for the gun. That's what you needed. Everybody's starting to feel themselves a little bit more after that. Maybe even Coldzera. He has just been thrusted into an op.
I don't really know, looking back on that op, how fruitful this could possibly be for him.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out in short time.
You made a good point, right? I feel like so far he's had a better track record on the rifle for this series. And even in general. But could also be exactly where you want him to be, being that he's more of a static opper. Because right now it looks like that bomb is leaning toward the A site. So far it's a lot of smoke and mirrors thrusted around the map. Couple flashes in mid, maybe play with rotations, smoke off connector. With about 36 seconds left, they're just going to start dumping smokes, killing time. And Imperial, at some point, at some degree, they will have to go through this. They don't have an option. Oh my.
Options, not aplenty, but bountiful are the walkthroughs for the T's again. E-box control has just been such an issue, such a problem, and one I don't think I will see rectified in this round. I mean, guaranteed, not fixed, not figured out. That's a tough one, Anthran.
Yeah, it's hard. Been a couple of rounds this half where the Red Canids have pretty much played hands off of that spot on the map, and it feels like they had the right idea too, because I believe it was Ponter. He goes inside of that smoke, he blocks T's from coming through, and he does it in such a way to where he doesn't actually get blinded by that first flash. But after that, everything falls apart. There's no trade from the player on the doorway, there's no trade from the player inside of the smoke, there's really just nothing. And with how integral of a piece of the map E-Box is, especially when you're the Red Canids right now, who aren't going for canals control, who aren't taking fights in A main, who aren't taking fights in middle, you have to have something as a CT. The rotations on this map, they're just too long. You saw it on Mirage, where sometimes, and I mean from Imperial's perspective, they just wouldn't be able to get their B anchors involved because by the time things went wrong on A, nothing was really set in stone for them. Same thing is happening here. Mid player can't come around. Coldzera, who is probably in one of the most rotatable angles on that A site. I mean, by the time you crumble, he can't even get to Palace.
They have no problem just stalling out at this point right now, Imperial. I'm not even worried. Like, I can say as many times as I can until I'm blue in the face that sure, maybe they scare them with these smokes deeply placed. Maybe these mollies give them reason to fear. Flashes in mid late. But no, I mean, Imperial, they can always rely on the fact they default back towards the E-box position with little to no issue, no pushback. And again, mid being a position they take up right now, God forbid, they could just drop off that bridge.
Well, drop. Maybe staying around for a little longer than he should be, but throws a flashback over to his teammates, maybe getting ready for another repeat here in the mid-round. Oh, they both are ready for it, but Drop gets the better of Cello. Trader way too far away, so it is an honest-to-God 5-on-4, but again, Drop is staying around, not content with just one. This angle will be cleared by SHR. He's been on a heater, but Drop says no. Stunts him in his tracks, and now it's coldzera's turn at the B site.
Off ready and in charge. Oh, nice flick. A little bit longer a time to actually react on that than No Way would have liked to have given him, but leg exposed by the fact that he's crouching, and okay, another flick out, not for coldzera, but from Try instead, but this is low enough HP, and even softer than that, I mean, yeah, he's locked in. There's no way he can shoot quick enough to hit all three of these targets as well as plant the bomb with 15 on the clock. He's going to try and clean and clear what he can, but he realizes now, as soon as he gets up to this doorway, he's going to have to pull bomb out and run right back to Cake. Well, or just go for the save and try to find an out, which is also a viable choice. Seeing their money is more than good enough.
I mean, those 3 kills are just devastating. That denies, unless they, well, I guess he could recover it. And I'm a little surprised that he doesn't go back to hold the op, but it would have denied coldzera having had the op, even though the impact wasn't crazy this half so far. That was a round where, I mean, it's kind of evident that it had its mark. But now it's the Red Canids in the boat that Imperial found themselves in on Mirage of trying to make what feels like an impossible comeback. Especially considering that's just their third round of the half. Second beyond the pistol. Tries op. It slowed down a little bit, but came back to life in the last round. Maybe he could play with some of that fire, walking into a pick and B main. That is not what Poncer wanted to be giving over. And they're going to use that as leverage to get into this A site. Already had so many struggles when it comes to Connector, when it comes to Palace, of holding this down. And now Kawes has to do it by himself inside of the smoke. I thought he got spammed, but it's Drop evening things out. They haven't cleared this smoke. I don't know where Kawes is looking, but he's still escaped.
Does Kawes know where Kawes is looking?
I don't think so. What is going on?
I'm running out of words. I'm running out of words to understand the situation. A minute and 12. In the back of the site, Venomzera was made known, and Vinny is going to take a dink. He will get the kill, but he also has the bomb. He can do what he wants. He can reset, but instead of picking up the C4, he looks to deepen himself and maybe catch coldzera on rotation and transition, or at the very least know what's going on about this. I think Vinny might have outplayed himself. I think he's just going to rat back through spawn to see if coldzera is taking a line, and by that point, he's going to have to commit.
I think the biggest issue with what Vinny's doing right now is the fact that he didn't actually get the bomb, right?
That's
if he had seen all of this, he could have been like, okay, I'm going to wrap CT, maybe go A through heaven. But now, you have to go back. You have to waste all this time. And now, where coldzera was on the other side of the map, he's going to have plenty of time to get the drop on you. Though he's
coldzera's waiting to see if he flexes to remain.
Vinny might plant for him.
He picked up a smoke. Nade off the wall in case coldzera had gotten into a funky position, but no, he can afford to be loud for a second coldzera if he'd like, but instead takes his time in continuing to crawl and creep, and now on the edge of that smoke, he won't see him. Oh, won't be danced around appropriately by Vinny either, but now it's coldzera with a molly, a smoke, and so much to clear. Shot in the back of the head. That's the way they lose it. That's incredible. I can't believe it. Again, Vinny, I thought it outplayed himself, but it looks like he had done just enough. Try, the absolute hero of this map, though, well and truly above and beyond.
I mean, it's just the most confusing round to end it, but considering how confusing that game was at some points, it feels a bit fitting. Now, one of the first things we said today was this is likely to be the most close series of any in the opening stage of the qualifications. Well, so far, proving to be true as we find ourselves atop a map 3. And honestly, I got no idea anymore, especially after the stuff we saw on Anubis, the Red Canids starting 5-0, then pretty much falling off the map. I don't know, man. We could really see either of both.
Sink or swim time for both these teams now. little bit of tossing and turning of the weapons and trading hands. It's Vinny and Try who leave spawn with it. And by it, I mean the dual Berettas. Set per. One atop hut. Pretty standard issue. The other down through the vents. It's going to be an attempt to stave off a walk down into the lower bomb site, perhaps, where two players are potentially able to make that one work as the ramp pop preps to make it a true B-split. I can only imagine, unless they decide to pump it back if there's something that goes belly up. But there goes one kill back into their favor in the 1-for-1. They still do look like they should be on for a pretty decent walkthrough. It's a matter of what happens at this back end, in my opinion, that really changes the pace.
And they keep it slow. Just keeping coldzera tucked down through secret. Kawez taking next contact. That was a must-win fight, though. A lot of it came down if ramp control went their way, but coldzera's made up for it with his pick on try down lower. So drop, reroutes. Give you an idea of swinging up through the vents, but everywhere you go, things seemingly going wrong for the Canids.
Seemingly. But we've seen them come back from dire straits and pistol rounds before thanks to a couple of shots, and that one from Ponter actually feels a lot more controlled than it could have been, considering how hard he was getting run through. coldzera, clutch man once or twice in this series already, but with 25, he's going to need to find this one relatively instantly, and I don't remember the last time I've ever in my entire life looked just hard right, and he doesn't look hard right, but he just turns his attention left, back, and forth, but the bomb's too far gone to go for the plan.
Yeah. That's the problem with a lot of these rounds, right? I feel like it happens a lot. Okay. We're sticking around for some reason. Oh my god. I mean, that's still bad. coldzera died after time. He doesn't get any money. Now, I think the one thing that happens a lot is teams taking maybe minute 15 seconds on their defaults before they make a move, and obviously it has its benefits, it has its advantages, but one of the disadvantages is something like this, where you don't really get an opportunity for the clutch because of how much ground you have to cover, because of how much you have to do in such a limited amount of time. And they kind of get imploded because of it. In this first gun round, coldzera is likely going to be rocking a Mac 10 or something. And considering his impact, not only on Mirage, but in the rounds they did win on Anubis, that's a huge step in the wrong direction for what's going to be a very big series-deciding round. But that premonition will only come when we get to it, as right now it's just a whole horde of Glocks waiting to walk into ramp, which is well guarded by SMG with a molly and an HE. So the second you take contact, they'll just get chewed up and spit out. But maybe talking over their next round strategy in this one, as the smoke in ramp prevents them from even considering going forward just yet. Eventually, Venomzero will be shot down. Same with his teammates. SHR, couple quick frags go into his bank account, so a nice $1,800 check is cashed before the third. And it's just about exactly what you would want out of your anti-eco. Your SMGs finding a majority of the cash. And no depths. So they'll keep all of their weapons moving into it. Wow, it's actually way worse than I thought. I thought coldzera would at least have a Mac 10, but instead he's just rocking the Tech 9. This could be a quick inner pop, and it looks like it is. Couple of mollies, couple of nades, stump them in their tracks, but they just decide to eat them. SMG top hut. This is exactly where you want your SMG in a round like this. Doing damage. Nade lands right at the toes of coldzera. So the damage keeps adding up and up and up. And even though they're outgunned, even though they don't have the artillery advantage, it's the health that you look at. It doesn't really give you a shoulder to lean on. Last molly thrown in heaven, and at this point, the Red Canids, when these smokes fade, problems are going to start rising. There's the first one of them. coldzera trades, but still on 11 HP.
This is a good place for him to find a quick headshot and roll it back a little bit.
Oh,
nice position to play from if you're drop, but the problem is that they seem to have an idea as to where he was thanks to the kills he had found. He repositions and is completely red. They will be able to hit that defusal. It is going to be ever so slightly close, but not close enough.
Counter-terrorists win.
What do you think, Anthran? 3-0 for Imperial on the CT side beginning. Feels like they're off to a springboard start.
I mean, I think the one thing the Red Canids have had going for them in a lot of these T-sided rounds is they're very good at changing the pace, knowing when to change the pace. I'm notably thinking about the starts of their T-side on Mirage and Anubis alike. When they did muster up that 5-0 lead, you saw, I mean, I literally discussed it, right? You know, Imperial throwing a lot of their utilities, saying the Red Canids, they were playing slow. They could change up the pace. They immediately did. It caught them by surprise. Here, they tried it. They tried to change the pace when things aren't going right, but Imperial are ready for it.
Yeah, and then, you know, round after round, those kinds of pace changes, though, don't really meet expectations. This is a map where you can start to drown. And this is SHR sticking around a little longer than I would have expected him to.
Oh my!
The nade, he will land into it. It'll be a little less destructive than maybe you would have thought it to be, but still Venomzera is low enough to the spray, left in the clip, ammo enough for SHR to do his pay his dues, and I don't think really you can expect much more from him right now. He may get a kill or two more, but even still, he's done his part.
I mean, I'm so glad to see it out of SHR too, because specifically him, he was somebody I was worried about shifting forward into this series, and not even just that, but maybe even in this event. I think back to Mirage, I think I pointed out to you in our breaks that you can't have your A anchor falling 9 times out of 10. He can't be the first one to go down and almost doing nothing with it. And there were a lot of rounds like that at the beginning of Anubis where SHR is left with these anchor duties on very big impact spots of the map and just isn't doing his job. So far, in the few rounds we've seen, he's played it to a T. He's gotten what he's given. He's used the utility he should. He's backed away. He's played his life.
Yeah, very, very indifferent were our opinions on him on Mirage, on that CT defense for sure. But coming back into form, coming back into play, and on this map playing for his life as well as getting fragged. 4-0 start. Smooth moves coming through. The AWP of Try, I mean, that's something that I want to scream from the rooftops about on Anubis, and this map also makes for a lot of opportunity for that. And right now, all we're going to get is the pure rifle version of Counter-Strike, which I'm all down for as well.
Sure.
I'm super into the high-octane 1 versus 1s, not really having to, you know, tiptoe around that sniper. Because that makes it a little boring when you just know they have an op. Not boring, but when you know they have an op and you kind of, all right, flash this angle,
I get what
flash
you
this
mean.
angle,
Yeah.
flash this angle, smoke this angle. It's like a lot more scared CS.
And now Nuke, I feel like Nuke is the inventor of, oh, where's the op? Let's just go the other direction. Sketchy spray happens outside the man we just discussed. Try. Now realizing he didn't have the op, decides to spray down at long range. Winds up at 11 HP, traded out by Poncher's kill on Vinny. But that's a big gap to exploit. Dropping the mini player, Cello's got to come off of the hut and try to recuperate. Walks through a single door smoke. This is a little interesting, and I don't think they're going to be ready for this. Bomb is still in lobby.
Cello holding the lobby player in good faith. He's got a teammate in secret if he needs him. That wall is relatively spammable. Amali will do better for it, though. And Cello swings in perfect position, though, for Venomzera to not have to worry about him at all. He's 100% certain he will burn, and that it's exactly how things go down. But SHR, he's in the most awkward of positions to clear, but he, too, has to be worried about a multitude of different angles. Oh, very interesting. Knew that one had crossed to the other side of him, and damage is so solid, but Try, if he was a little more healthy, I may have given him more onus in this round. He was known to be a heaven earlier. I wonder if they try to go down the vent and looking to circumnavigate him. No, probably not. Looks like they've gotten a little more comfortable in the fact they've got 2 players here.
And it's so unlucky, too, because Try technically had the drop on this bomb carrier for a moment. But it's another one of those rounds where the Red Canids are really flirting with the timer. You are right. So much money. Why the hell not? And Puncher's low, right? For all intents and purposes, I don't expect this to be a 1 round. But if he'd hit the headshot, man. If Spuds and Coconuts, a saying my parents used to tell me all the time, seems to still live true here. That's all it is. It lives and dies with that. Living is the Red Canids, and finding their first on what is probably going to be more. No op still, though. Or is there?
Doesn't really seem to matter.
Okay.
They will get it now.
I mean, I'm thinking about his impact on Anubis. I'm getting that guy in op as soon as
I mean, think about it like this. If he's in that same fight that he takes on that first of the entirety of the round, he just gets the kill without any damage taken.
Right.
And that round becomes all the more feasible, and he also feels like he can play maybe a little bit, not more aggressively, but in positions that are a little more close to where the action should be.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably plays it different, especially when he's in that 1-on-2. Doesn't go down the vents, doesn't play from lower. Ooh. Info spotted outside. So far, only whereabouts of 1 or 2 detected. Anything more would be more so a guess than actual confirmed information. But it's just a game of spamming through smokes, flashing them, trying to delay. Imperial, no response just yet when it comes to taking map control, so they tuck Cello down lower and prepare for the end times. Now a lobby crunch coming in, and they might walk right into him.
Famas shoulder to shoulder with another M4. SHR's also come in from ramp. This should be a pretty quick cleanup, I think, from Imperial, honestly. SHR even getting bigger than his pants may be able to hold him, but still hangs on. Eventually, Coldzera's here. That's kind of frustrating. Can he silently get down in some way? No, he's going to have to be louder about it. SHR at least giving them an early warning system with a man advantage that was actually 3, excuse me. So, yeah, so like when he gets that kill, they know he's there and they know that the jig is up, that they are coming to retrieve the bomb.
I mean, unless Kawhi spots a freebie, yeah, I think that was the idea. Maybe if he catches somebody like looking around front mini trying to spot Silo, then they could go for this round, but
would have been a good place to be.
Venom Zera, I mean, he can buy, maybe Punter can squeeze out a Mac 10, Drop would be left behind the pack a little bit. You can make this next round to buy, is what I'm trying to say. So
you can fake this next round into a buy.
Yeah. They say fake it till you make it.
Tech 9 even.
That off of try is still a non-starter though, so I don't. Did he even get a killer? Did he even fire a shot last round?
I don't remember. I don't remember him. I remember him trying to see a bunch of different angles and just constantly being warded off, or
yeah,
jumped over an angle to where he couldn't fire off fast enough. And how could you have expected him to possibly? So maybe they don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's in ramp too, which is usually occupied by SHR.
They can surely assume.
They can assume, sure, but this angle, absolutely not.
No, especially up high like this. This is weird. Oh, nice adjustment down. Whoa! And another one to where he's ready for the movement into his line of sights. Even further beyond that one in Ponter, there's a third. Coldzera with the bomb needs to be absolutely laser focused, but the laser beam at the op seems to be ready for everything that come his way. Even if it isn't from the angle initial, it was the next, in which the left side swing is all better forward as Vinny, the Phantom of the Night, appears amidst the smoke. 6-1, and Imperial have done it again. No plant, no money left. To buy back, probably, seeing as they've left so much left on that table. It is going to be attack timeout.
The one thing I'm noticing for Imperial is just that when things are going good, things are going great. And when things are going bad, things are going horrible. I assume you know what I mean there, but it's when these guys aren't in a scared spot, when they're not worried, when they're feeling themselves a little bit more, it is such a hard team to beat. They're so big on misdirections, on playing with what you think you know, but you actually don't, and doing very unexpected things. And it doesn't help that now you've got 2 players on Imperial who feel like titans. You just cannot touch them. Try and SHR are doing everything. I believe 4 or 5 multi-kills between those 2 players, and we're 8 rounds into the game. The Red Canids are suffering an issue we kind of saw toward the end of Anubis, where nobody's really stepping back up to try and counter that. Coldzera, who had such a tear at the start of this series, almost a non-factor, and they wanted to go for a fast play. They wanted to try popping out into the A site here, but instead, it's going to turn into 2 openers going the opposite direction. Those nades slowed down Kawes just a bit too much, and this trade is nowhere in sight. Lambs to the slaughter, the P250s and Tech 9s are for M4s. And Drop is just hoping for a participation award. Maybe one person gets caught lacking. Tiny bit of cash. Maybe you drop 1 gun. But the pockets of Imperial are bolstered right now. They are rich, overflowing with cash. You can't even drop 1, man. It's only going to get worse. Lowest econ players, Vinny at 5,700. That says something.
Alrighty. 7-1. Imperial, I mean, I think pretty much all of our initial woes are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And this isn't a diss to Vinny, because I really don't think tactically I had very many issues with him on Mirage. Not to like a deep, deep level. It was just like a lack of creativity, maybe. I'm not sure, but nothing really like fundamentally off-putting outside maybe the pistol round that they had. But coming into this one, this map really does lend itself to the individuals making decisions outside of what Vinny will have to call on CT&T side. They can kind of dictate what they want to do in the call themselves by the moves that they play off the wall with. And I guess that's also by virtue of having somebody like a Cello on your team. You know, having somebody to just fill in and do something for you that nobody else may be willing to otherwise. And Venom's era, speaking of which, honestly, like we're at this stage in the game, he takes matters into his own hands. He walks it out through Hut, and SHR on the op, bro, maybe has a career in the backup.
No, hold on. I thought for a second. Dude, what is going on? I'm gonna be honest with you. Imperial kind of look clueless right now. There's so many different, like, I mean, Noe just died having his knife out to Hut. Cello just had his knife out walking down the vents when they could have been down vents or even down secret. Oh, well, but doesn't matter. Makes up for it by just dropping the bomb carrier. That's a nice little kill to have in your back pocket. Venom's era gonna plant a little more safe. Wait for them to pop open the doors, doubling so. And it's not like time's on your side, but I mean, you got a 1v1 here. Why not? Dude, this guy does have a career.
Why not reference? Don't know if you've heard of him. The Red Canids, I mean, even when given a couple of moments here and there, in that round in particular as well, that you really feel,
and this
you really feel like they had the chance there in a couple of those moments you were talking about where Imperial looked a little lost, and it's unfortunate they just couldn't fully walk through with that. But I mean, they were already getting a little bit lucky. You know, those were timings above all else.
Maybe lost isn't the right word. Maybe careless is a better way to put it. Because you're up 7-1. I mean, 8-1 now.
9-1 soon, TM.
Probably. It's just the problem that I feel... I already mentioned it, but I think it's what really made the Red Canids so special in this series was just their ability to constantly keep Imperial guessing. But now, clearly, Vinny is clued into something. And these tempo changes, these different rotations, they're just not working for the Red Canids. And we already mentioned, people aren't shooting back, to put it blunt. So, the one big trick they had up their sleeve isn't working. Nobody has still answered the call. And it's another 8-pop, which... it feels a little bit desperate.
I've seen this before. I'm getting a really weird deja vu. I don't know if it was with you, but I've seen this exact round almost go this exact same way, and there's no way who was the linchpin. Dropping out through heaven is Try.
What?
Get on the pistol. This man is unleashed. Untamed is the beast. And Anubis has returned to his blood veins as Nuke explodes.
Forget the map. He just set off the bomb himself.
He is the bomb.
Dude... this is what I'm saying, right? Like, Imperial, they're not set up to deal with what just happened to them. They threw their mollies, the rotations were barely there in time, they were caught off guard. But then you just have SHR, you just have Try, who do the most unthinkable things in this map, and the Red Canids don't have an answer.
I don't know what my answer would be. I don't know what I would do. Try, I mean, what are you supposed to do to that in all fairness? I can't even critique them right there. I mean, Try is just doing like a simple-ass movement. Prime time back in the day, and yeah, another one. The waltz in, met by new angles. By new positions to clear, never staying stagnant. Maybe SHR doing a little too much there. The round was not even close to over and done with. Well, at least not when he goes down and dies, and not when Drop does it again. They have to know that Noe was one of the other 8 players.
I mean, forget one of the other 8 players. He was there. Cold Zera. The way things got kicked off on Mirage was with a clutch from him, but no. Not this time around. Vinny says, you're going to sit yourself back down on the bench.
Sit your butt down, Grandpa. Just kidding. He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. It's
Well,
not even
was
of
the
anybody who's gonna call him a grandpa on this team. Can't be Vinny, bro. I'm pretty sure he's the oldest on this team. He can't be it.
20, and he's like 26 actually. I thought he was a little bit. I actually thought he was a little bit younger. To be
Right? Dude, it feels like it was yesterday when he was on Fury and they made their first major appearance.
fair. Yeah, and they were cooking it something nice, but now cooking something new on Imperial and cooking something pretty tasty as it would seem. Cello, he is going to be the felon, but no way still stands his ground, stands tall, and holding the line. This A site never falters and never wavers, and only Coldzera and so many players between him. Goodbye and good night, 11-1. What an incredible half it's been from Imperial, and very little to say about the hopes for Red Canids, but they'll have to show us that on their CT side in just a bit.
That fire stayed hot from Anubis, and as we get off the second half of Nuke, looks like Imperial don't have much to worry about. Maybe a hop, skip, and a jump away from moving on to the next round. Look, we came into this series, my opinion was that Imperial, their changes shouldn't necessarily have them on the level of the Red Canids. Ideally, it would have them going up from where they were, and this shouldn't be a series they were worrying about. So, as it stands now, doesn't look like they are. Coldzera trying to change that on the pistol, but no way he's giving him other alternatives.
They don't really want to stop the flow of this one. They know where they're going. They know where their trajectory lies, but Venomzera looks to stop them in their tracks as best he can. A flood, everyone from Evan! One of them will down. Cello eventually with enough ammo.
What is going on?
That for Cowboys, that is not enough. He'll get shot down. He might get a little bit more money, but he won't get his around.
4 players on the Red Canids saw that one round from
Hashtag
Try
get
and said,
Leadify.
yeah, I can do that.
Hashtag get Leadify.
You had your best aiming stat that game. Check your stats here.
You have 100% headshot rate, 3 kills.
I think I've gotten that before. I think I played a drunk game at Premiere and hit one headshot.
All right. Do not advertise drinking and playing the video game. Stay sober, kids. Kill already confirmed. Cow is already removed. Venom Zero trying to get in through Hut and trying to do something about this. He uses the ledge above him in order to gain his accuracy and momentum. Great work all the way across the board on Nuke. Anubis, it looked also just about as clean and clear all the way through and through that they were the ones to be on top with how Tri was playing. And although Mirage may have been a little bit of a fumble, may have been a little bit of a stumble over the hurdle, it's the regain that we see best. And also, to make note, on the other side of things, the game of 9Z and Audic, that's the game to which the loser will play the loser of this match. So it seems now that the Red Canids will face the loser of that match, as it is 12-10 in favor of 9Z right now over there. This one ends 13-1 for the boys of Imperial.
It's just a crazy roller coaster, man. It almost felt like some magic was brewing after Mirage had concluded, but it apparently is just the specialty of the Red Canids to have a really good Mirage